Archaeologists in Egypt are celebrating a newly unearthed tomb as a one-of-a-kind find. The hidden resting place for an Egyptian royal priest has been untouched for about 4,400 years.
Hidden beneath the Egyptian desert lies a tomb complex that has long puzzled researchers.
There is something quite mind-blowing.
Among its treasures is a rare silver burial mask, a relic so extraordinary it challenges what we know about ancient power, religion, and identity. But beyond its beauty lie troubling questions. Who wore it? What goddess did they serve? And why was this mask buried in secrecy? Join us as we uncover the truth behind the silver mask and the chilling mystery it conceals. The silver mask and tomb discovery deep beneath Egypt's vast desert lies a tomb complex that has captivated archaeologists with its enigmatic treasures. Among the most extraordinary finds is a gilded silver burial mask, the first of its kind discovered in nearly a century. This rare artifact immediately signals the immense wealth and status of the person it adorned. But it also raises questions far beyond mere luxury. Why was silver, considered more precious than gold at the time, chosen for this mask? The answer hints at a deeper symbolism rooted in ancient Egyptian beliefs. The tomb complex itself dates to around 600 BC, during Egypt's 26th dynasty, a period marked by religious revival and innovative funerary practices. Spanning nearly 100 feet underground, this site has yielded a rich assortment of grave goods and intricately crafted sarcophagi. Among these are two sealed stone coffins that differ from others by bearing inscribed texts, an unusual and valuable clue pointing to the identities within. Such inscriptions offer a rare opportunity to read the voices of the ancient dead. Among the names uncovered are two priests, Tianamit and Aiput, whose burials lie side by side in this exclusive necropolis. Their shared profession hints at a possible connection, but the tomb's secrets remain tightly sealed, literally and figuratively. Opening the sarcophagi promises not only to reveal their identities, but also the mysteries locked within their burial rites. The anticipation is palpable among the research team, who sense that these discoveries may rewrite parts of Egyptian history. Exploring further, the team finds that the silver mask's owner belongs to a select class of priests who served an obscure serpent goddess named Nut Shais. This revelation is puzzling because very little is known about this deity, and her sudden prominence in this tomb complex signals a forgotten or newly emergent cult. It is this intertwining of rare artifacts and almost vanished religious devotion that builds the tension. What exactly did these priests believe? And what did their status signify in society? As the sarcophagi's heavy lids begin to lift, the profound craftsmanship of the burials comes into focus. One mummy is swathed in a delicate beaded shroud, composed of hundreds of glazed clay beads that have miraculously survived more than 2 millennia. This treasure trove of funerary art points to extraordinary wealth and care. Yet it's the unexpected details, carefully preserved textiles, inscriptions, and the very design of these burials that suggest there's more beneath the surface than just opulence. At the heart of this excavation is a profound challenge, separating fact from assumption. From the initial unsealing to the discovery of the silver mask, every artifact demands a reassessment of what we thought we knew about Egyptian priests and their rituals. As layers of dust fall away, so too do long-held beliefs about gender, religious practices, and social hierarchy. This is not just a story of riches, it's a puzzle that forces historians to question the foundations of ancient Egypt's spiritual world. The gleaming silver mask is unlike any other, not only in its rarity, but also in its purity. Tests reveal it to be even purer than sterling silver, elevating the owner's status almost beyond compare. Silver in ancient Egypt was a symbol not only of wealth, but also of divine power. The flesh of gods was gold, their bones silver. Covering this mask with a thin layer of gold foil seems a ritualistic attempt to transform the deceased into a god, linking earthly prestige with spiritual ascendancy. Despite all these remarkable discoveries, the tomb complex's full story remains elusive. Each archaeologist on the team knows that the most significant revelations are still hidden. The silver mask is only one piece of a much larger mystery about the people resting beneath Saqqara and the gods they revered. The truth could reshape our understanding of ancient Egyptian ritual and society, but only if we can peel back every layer carefully and patiently. The exquisite wealth displayed in these burials reflects not just personal fortune, but the immense power wielded by Egyptian priests, whose influence extended far beyond the temple walls. Life of ancient Egyptian priests. In ancient Egypt, priests were among the most powerful individuals outside the royal family, dominating religious, political, and economic spheres. The priesthood was a prestigious class, often wealthy, with access to resources gained from temples and state affairs. This elite status allowed them to sponsor lavish burials full of artistic mastery and symbolic wealth, demonstrating their importance both in life and death. Their tombs often rivaled those of nobles in size and decoration. Priests functioned as intermediaries between gods and the people, managing religious rituals essential to maintaining cosmic order. Their responsibilities included temple administration, overseeing festivals, and safeguarding sacred knowledge. The priesthood's religious authority translated into tangible influence, often intertwined with state power. Many priests held military or administrative roles, blurring the lines between spiritual and temporal leadership. The funerary practices of priests reflected this duality. Burial sites were meticulously prepared with texts, amulets, and goods intended to secure not just eternal life, but also continued influence in the afterworld. Richly painted sarcophagi and intricate canopic jars were signs of their status, revealing a lifetime of accumulated wealth and privilege. The more elaborate the burial, the higher the social rank it conveyed. A notable example is the tomb of Paddy Amenhotep in Luxor, a vast mausoleum filled with refined artwork and inscriptions detailing his many roles in temple hierarchy and public life. Such monumental tombs indicate the breadth of priestly power and wealth. These funerary complexes served as both spiritual monuments and declarations of earthly achievements, showing how priests could command labor and resources on an extraordinary scale. There were many streams of revenue for the priests who were affluent in society, such as the income from temples, their large estates, and political influence. Priests, in contrast to most Egyptians, had the backing of many channels and were usually connected to the powerful secular and religious circles. Their riches permitted them to invest in the public and private burial rituals that were supposed to win God's favor and bring glory to them at the same time. The priests, contrary to general perception, were very much a part of the society that they lived in, hence the very reason for their existence. They were responsible for educating the people, judging their disputes, and administering the law. Thus, they were part of the police force, and their position constituted a combination of religious and worldly authority, which allowed them to enjoy life and death in luxury. The gigantic tombs at Saqqara are filled with riches and reflect the complexity of such identities. These reflections make it less surprising that the elaborate burial rites took place at the Saqqara complex, but still, the uniqueness of the artifacts is such that they challenge some expectations. The presence of an extremely pure silver mask, along with other opulent goods, not only indicates the wearer's belonging to the priest's elite, but also that the person was a class apart. This leads to more questions about the roles the burial reflects that might not be so close to conventional views of the priesthood. In spite of the generally held image of priests as being exclusively male, the material pertaining to these burials offers unexpectedly nuanced views on the matter of identity and social roles, which further complicate the previous assumptions. The idea of a priesthood in Egypt as a static institution with a very clear and uniform way of being is not a true one. It was a diverse one with different paths and statuses, where the factors of gender and personal relationships might have played a much more intricate role than what has been generally appreciated. Beyond the recognizable signs of wealth and rank, the tombs contained peculiar burial practices that hinted at a deeper mystery about the individuals interred and what they believed. Unusual burial practices among the tombs uncovered at the Saqqara site archaeologists found burial artifacts that depart from standard Egyptian funerary customs, signaling the presence of unique personal or cultic beliefs. The most striking among these is the discovery of 6 canopic jars accompanying the burial of Didi Bastet, a significant deviation from the usual set of 4 jars traditionally used to hold the embalmed organs of the dead. This unprecedented find suggests a tailored ritual or elevated status that required extra protection for additional organs. Canopic jars typically safeguarded the stomach, intestines, lungs, and liver, but the 2 extra jars may have contained organs not ordinarily preserved, such as the brain or kidneys. CT scans of the additional jars revealed preserved soft tissue inside, something never before documented in Egyptian burial practice. This exceptional care implies a highly personalized embalming process, possibly commissioned to secure more comprehensive protection in the afterlife. Alongside the unique jars, another remarkable feature is the exquisite beaded burial shrouds adorning mummies like Janamit, crafted from hundreds of glazed beads threaded into intricate nets. These shrouds are masterpieces of funerary art designed both to protect and adorn the deceased. Their preservation over 2,600 years speaks to the exceptional craftsmanship and the importance placed on visualizing eternal life. Typically, such netted shrouds were reserved for royalty or priestly elites, underscoring the high rank of those buried here. The bead colors, patterns, and materials were carefully chosen for symbolic meanings connected to protection, resurrection, and divine power. The craftsmanship hints not only at personal wealth, but also at deeply held religious convictions concerning death and rebirth. Interestingly, the positioning of the mummies within their coffins also draws attention. For example, the arm positions of some individuals reflect burial customs traditionally reserved for women of high rank, challenging the conventional assumption that all priests interred here were male. These subtle details in burial posture prompt new questions about gender identity and social roles in ancient Egypt. The layering of grave goods, ranging from precious metals to ritual texts and personal items, further indicates a synthesis of personal devotion and societal expectations. The careful inclusion of inscriptions naming gods and family members shows a desire to cement immortal identity and social connections. Every object seemed chosen to secure a safe passage and respectable memory. Together, these unusual burial elements suggest the individuals were part of a faith or cult distinct from the mainstream, possibly centered on the serpent goddess Nut Shes. The distinctive practices could represent theological innovations or localized rites that flourished during the 26th dynasty religious revival. These personal touches deepen the mystery of the tomb complex and its occupants. Such anomalies force archaeologists to rethink established narratives about Egyptian funerary traditions and social structures. They illustrate how the past can surprise us with its complexity and diversity. In this case, the burial practices open a window into an ancient world where status, belief, and identity intertwined in unexpected ways. As the team sought to understand the meaning behind these peculiar customizations, they uncovered a nearly forgotten deity who may hold the key to the entire mystery. The enigmatic goddess Nut Shes. The mysterious goddess Nut Shes emerges as a central figure in this tomb complex, intriguing archaeologists with her elusive presence. Unlike major Egyptian deities, Nut Shes is barely mentioned in historical records, with only a handful of inscriptions referencing her across the entire country. Yet in this burial site, her name appears repeatedly, signaling a localized or newly established cult that flourished during the 26th dynasty. This sudden prominence challenges our understanding of how fluid and diverse Egyptian religion could be. Symbols linked to Nut Shes, such as a circle, a rectangle, a bolt, and a serpent, appear in hieroglyphs, hinting at the goddess's serpentine nature. Serpent gods and goddesses in ancient Egypt often symbolized protection, renewal, and power. However, Nut Shes seems to embody a more obscure aspect, making her worship a unique feature of this site. Her association with powerful priests suggests she held considerable spiritual significance in this community, possibly standing as a protective or transformative deity. The discovery that multiple priests in the complex served Nut Shays suggests the existence of a formal cult with structured priesthood, an idea previously unknown to Egyptologists. This represents a rare opportunity to study how new or minor deities gained traction amid Egypt's well-established pantheon. The priest's dedication indicates Nut Shays was more than a marginal figure. She commanded enough devotion to merit coordinated ritual and elaborate burial practices. At Luxor Temple, project consultant Salima Ikram found one of the few visual records of Nut Shays, confirming her snake symbolism, but also highlighting how little is documented about her. This gap in knowledge makes the tomb complex at Saqqara an invaluable source for rewriting part of Egyptian religious history. The fact that worshippers of Nut Shays received lavish burials speaks volumes about her cult's influence during this period. The intermingling of Nut Shays' worship with such remarkable funerary artifacts indicates the eventual birth of a new whole range of religion exclusive to the last Egyptian period. It goes to the extent of saying that local religious identities flourished next to the main cults, showing the differences in theology and rituals of the oracles at different places. This is in line with the 26th dynasty's image as a period of religious and artistic revival, wherein the old beliefs were reinterpreted and the new ones were elaborated. However, the iconography of Nut Shays' snake could also be interpreted as an assurance for the dead that they would not face any dangers during their journey to eternity. This theme of protection goes well with the luxurious burial items and the actions of the priests, whose intricate interments were obviously meant to guarantee safety and rank even after death. The goddess might have made certain assurances or given certain powers that would have made her very attractive in times of social or political changes. But still, a great deal of Nut Shays is not known. Did her religion have geographical limitations, or did it once reach farther? Was she a goddess of healing, revenge, death, or perhaps a mixture of these? Every object and writing brings up more questions, and thus prompts research and discussions among Egyptologists. The increasing information concerning Nut Shays is turning this tomb complex from merely a burial site into a center of a lively, although forgotten, religious movement. It stresses that one place's finds can cause a revolution in the historical understanding, unearthing the way the ancient Egyptians at all times reshaped their spiritual universe. While uncovering a new goddess deepened the enigma, an even more startling revelation awaited as the team examined the identities of those who worshipped Nut Shays, gender revelations, and priestesses. Perhaps the most striking discovery in this tomb complex is that some priests were women, challenging long-held assumptions about gender in ancient Egypt's religious hierarchy. Historically, priests were assumed to be almost exclusively male, but burial poses, skeletal analysis, and inscriptions tell a different story. Iput, a key priest, had an arm position reserved for high-status women, raising questions about identity. X-rays and forensic analysis confirmed Iput was female. Her left arm crossed over her chest, along with pelvic and cranial features, left no doubt she was a priestess. This shows that religious authority and elaborate burial honors were accessible to women, reflecting Egypt's relatively progressive gender norms compared to other ancient cultures. Even the owner of the rare silver burial mask, once assumed male, exhibits traits matching female burials, suggesting that priestesses of Nut Shays held prominent roles with wealth and spiritual prestige equal to men. Multiple priestesses buried in the complex indicate that women played critical roles in this cult and possibly in broader religious life, contradicting simplified depictions of Egypt as strictly patriarchal. Lavish burials symbolize social equality, showing priestesses had the same status, wealth, and privileges as male priests. Their service to Nut Shays, an obscure goddess, hints that women's roles were tied to specific cults that valued gender inclusivity. Combined male and female burials suggest an integrated religious community where gender lines were fluid, reflecting a dynamic temple society and possibly complementary spiritual partnerships. Ultimately, these gender revelations transform the Silver Mask mystery from a tale of elite artifacts into a story about identity, power, and societal change. It challenges us to think differently about how ancient peoples understood authority and divinity, reminding us that history always has surprises waiting in its depths. The lasting mystery and implications. The discovery of the Silver Mask and its tomb complex has raised many questions for archaeologists and historians. The identities of the priests and priestesses, their connection to the obscure goddess Nut Shays, and their unique burial practices reveal a complex religious and social world previously unknown. While numerous artifacts have been uncovered, the full significance of these figures in ancient Egyptian society remains partially hidden. A central mystery is Nut Shays' cult. Its sudden rise during the 26th dynasty reflects a dynamic religious environment where new deities could gain substantial followings. Whether she had a temple or shrine near Saqqara is unknown, but such a finding could reshape our understanding of localized worship. The presence of multiple priestesses challenges traditional views of gender and authority. These women were central religious figures, honored in burial, suggesting a more multifaceted priesthood than previously recognized. Technologies like 3D modeling and CT scanning allow researchers to study mummies and artifacts without damage, revealing both physical and symbolic aspects of burial rites. The Silver Mask, purer than nearly all other silver artifacts from Egypt, points to skilled craftsmen and wealthy patrons, linking religion, economy, and social hierarchy. Yet many questions remain. How did Nut Shays' cult fit into the broader religious and political landscape? Were women priests more common elsewhere? The tomb complex shows that even well-studied civilizations hold hidden layers, reminding us that the past is as complex as the people who lived it. This Silver Mask mystery has taken us deep beneath Egypt's sands to uncover a forgotten goddess, powerful priestesses, and groundbreaking insights into ancient life. It's a vivid reminder that history still holds astonishing secrets. If this journey through time fascinated you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that unravel the world's greatest mysteries.